Let's stop pretending women are impossible to understand. They're not. They're emotional creatures, beautiful, complex, yes. But trust me, there are cracks in the armor. And if you know where to look, you'll see exactly what makes them melt, what makes them chase, and yeah, what makes them stay up all night thinking about you. This isn't about tricks or manipulation. It's about seeing the real stuff most men miss. Because while most guys are trying too hard, the smart ones, they're pressing on the right pressure points. The silent emotional triggers that hit deep. So in this video, we're diving into the top 9 female weaknesses every man must know. Some of these will surprise you. Some will make you grin. And a few? You're gonna wish you knew them years ago. Let's go. No fluff, no filters. Just straight-up stoic power meets primal understanding. 1. Confidence that doesn't ask for permission. Let's be real, women are addicted to confidence. But not the loud, show-offy, look-at-me type. We're talking about that quiet, unshakable kind. The kind of confidence that walks into a room like it doesn't need applause. That doesn't ask, am I good enough? Because it already knows. That's the weakness right there. You see, most dudes chase validation. They drop compliments, over-text, try too hard to prove they're different. But women can sniff that out like blood in the water. Confidence that doesn't chase, that doesn't explain itself, that's rare, and that's sexy as hell. It's the guy who doesn't flinch when she plays games. It's the guy who doesn't rush to fill silences. It's the man who speaks when he's ready, not when he's nervous. She may act tough, she may pretend she's in charge, but when a man stands his ground without ego, without effort, it short-circuits her brain. Why? Because her feminine energy wants to surrender to strength, not brute strength, emotional strength. The guy who can hold his own, take the lead, and make her feel safe while doing absolutely nothing extra. He owns her thoughts without even trying. So don't try harder, stand taller, walk slower, speak less. Let your energy say what your mouth doesn't need to. That's her favorite weakness, and you don't even have to break a sweat. 2. Being understood without explaining everything. Here's the truth. Most women are exhausted from explaining themselves. They're tired of saying, I'm fine, and not being believed. Tired of men thinking every emotional moment means she's too much. Tired of not being seen. You want to know one of her biggest weaknesses? A man who gets it, without her needing to spell it out. You don't have to be psychic. You just have to be present. Notice when she goes quiet. Feel when her tone changes. Read the room when her energy shifts. Most guys miss this. They're focused on what to say next instead of what she's feeling right now. But when you look at her, pause and say, something's off. Talk to me when you're ready. That hits different. It tells her, this man sees me. I don't have to perform with him. I can be soft here. And bro, that's where the walls fall. Because women don't fall in love with men who just impress them. They fall for the ones who make them feel understood. So don't force advice. Don't fix everything. Just feel her. That level of attunement, it's rare, and it's one of her deepest emotional weaknesses. 3. Masculine silence in the right moments. Here's a cheat code most men never learn. Silence is a weapon, not the silent treatment, not ignoring. I'm talking about stoic silence, the kind that says, I'm not reacting, I'm observing. In a world full of noise, a man who knows when to shut up is dangerous. He doesn't chase, he doesn't over-explain, he doesn't try to win the argument. He just pauses, watches, and waits. That stillness. It's magnetic, because it shows power. She's used to guys blowing up when she tests them, used to boys reacting, begging, or trying to out-talk her. But when she hits you with emotional chaos and you respond with nothing but calm, boom, she's hooked and she doesn't even know why. Your silence makes her second-guess her games. It makes her self-reflect. It puts her back into feminine energy, while you stay grounded in masculine energy. This is where attraction gets deeper, because you're not just a guy trying to impress her. You're a man who can handle anything without losing your cool. And that, my friend, is one of her secret cravings. The ability to lean into your quiet strength when she's lost in noise. Let your silence speak. It says more than words ever could. 4. Deep eye contact that doesn't flinch. Eye contact isn't just about confidence. It's about dominance, desire, and something women can't explain but feel deep in their gut. Look, most guys either look away too fast or stare like a creep trying to prove something. But the man who can lock eyes, stay calm, and smirk just a little, game over. Because the eyes tell her everything. Who's grounded, who's nervous, who's leading, who's chasing, who's comfortable in his own skin, and who's faking it. When you look her in the eyes while staying completely relaxed, it creates instant sexual tension. You're not trying to win her. You're just letting her see the fire without saying a word. That kind of eye contact flips a switch in her brain. This guy isn't scared of me. He sees me, and he's not backing down. You don't need pickup lines. You don't need to run game. Just look, hold, and smile like you already know she's thinking about you. Because once she feels that power, she'll remember your face long after the conversation ends. Sign 5. The need for mysterious depth. Let's get something straight. Women are curious creatures, not in a nosy way, in a soulful way. They crave depth, not the kind you spill in a therapy session, the kind you hint at, like a book with missing pages. A woman's fifth weakness. She's hooked by mystery, by silence, by stories untold. Now, I'm not saying be a cryptic weirdo. I'm saying don't hand her everything up front. Most guys overshare too soon, thinking emotional dumping equals bonding. Nah, that's just noise. The real game? Be open, but layered. Let her earn pieces of you like puzzle parts. Tell her a story, then stop halfway. Make her lean in. Give her a glance that says you've lived through things she'll never fully understand, but might one day get close to. Women want to explore a man like a secret garden. If you're too obvious, she'll walk away bored. But if there's a storm in your past, a shadow behind your smile, a hint of pain you've turned into poetry, she'll stay, she'll dig, she'll feel. Mystery makes you memorable. Don't be a locked box. Be a maze with meaning. That's her fifth weakness, the urge to figure you out. Feed that urge, but slowly, never all at once. Sign 6. Her soft spot for a man with purpose, not just passion. There's a strange thing that happens when a man walks in the room with a mission. Everything slows down. The music fades, the noise shrinks, and all the small talk gets swallowed by something bigger. Presence. Now, you've heard this a million times, right? Women love a man with ambition, but that's not quite it. Ambition alone is like caffeine. It wakes you up, but it burns out fast. What she really aches for is a man with purpose. That slow-burning fire that doesn't flicker in the wind. Let's break it down. Passion is about feeling. Purpose is about direction. Passion screams, "I love this." Purpose whispers, "This is why I'm here." A woman's sixth weakness is her deep attraction to a man who's going somewhere, not just a man who's excited about stuff. She wants to orbit something bigger than herself, and you can't be that gravity if your entire life is Netflix, gym selfies, and scrolling TikTok. You ever meet a guy who doesn't chase women because he's chasing his calling? That guy is a black hole, Women get pulled in. Why? Because he doesn't just flirt, he moves. And in his movement, she finds security, momentum, meaning. Here's what most guys miss. It's not about being successful yet. It's about having vision, a dream you bleed for, a goal that pulls you out of bed. Even if you're broke today, if your soul's on fire, she'll feel it. And when a woman sees that fire, she wants to sit beside it. She wants to feed it, not because she needs a savior, but because it makes her feel like she's part of something eternal. Purpose is sexier than abs. Purpose is protection. Purpose makes your silence louder than someone else's speech. So if you're asking how to win a woman's soul, stop chasing her. Chase your why. She'll follow that flame like a moth in the night. Sign 7. Her hidden yearning to be led without being controlled. Now this one's delicate. Misunderstand it, and you come off as a controlling, toxic cliché, but hear it right. And you unlock one of the deepest, most buried female desires. Every strong woman has a secret fantasy to surrender, but only to a man strong enough, calm enough, and wise enough to deserve it. This is not about domination. It's about leadership, not control. Direction. It's primal, ancient. Women biologically and psychologically are more attuned to threat and unpredictability. So when a man walks in with clarity, direction, and decision-making power, not arrogance but grounded authority, she feels safer than she ever did on her own. That's her weakness. She wants to let go, just a little, but only when she trusts you know the road. Let me put it this way. She doesn't want a dictator. She wants a captain. She'll co-pilot all day long. She'll speak, push, challenge, but when the storm hits, she wants to know you're holding the wheel. A simple example. When she says, "I don't care, choose where we eat," she doesn't mean you're her boss. She's saying, "Lead me somewhere with confidence." When you hesitate, when you waffle, she doesn't feel liberated, she feels abandoned. But when you say, "Let's go here, trust me, you'll love it," and you say it with conviction, watch her body language change, watch her soften. Sign 8. Her vulnerability to words that paint new worlds. You want to talk about superpowers? Forget telepathy, forget X-ray vision. The real power, the one that's been breaking hearts and building empires since the beginning of time, is this: language. And here's the raw truth. Women are wired differently. They bond through words. It's not just talk, it's transportation. When you speak with intent, not game but depth, you pull her out of reality and into something bigger. That's her 8th weakness, a mind that responds to words the way a flame responds to oxygen. You don't need to be a poet. You just need to speak like a man who feels what he says. When you say, "I love your mind," don't say it like a compliment. Say it like it's the first time your soul has ever touched hers. When you say, "You fascinate me," say it like you discovered something ancient behind her eyes. Women fall for words that feel earned, not borrowed from a meme or TikTok quote. Words that come from your own bones. Why? Because the right words do more than flatter. They create space for her to imagine. And here's the key. When a woman starts imagining a life with you, when your voice becomes her internal dialogue, she's already halfway in love. So don't underestimate it. Learn to paint, not fake, not slick, just truth with rhythm. Say what you mean, but say it like it matters. She'll hear it in her heart, not just her ears. That's her weakness. Her soul craves language that breathes. Sign 9. The unspoken need for a man who can walk away. And now we arrive at the final weakness, the one no one talks about because it makes people uncomfortable, the power of detachment. Here's the paradox. The moment a woman senses you need her more than you choose her, She starts pulling away, not because she's cruel, but because human nature doesn't trust desperation. And yet, the moment she realizes you could walk away, not out of spite, but because you respect yourself that much, she starts leaning in. That's the ninth weakness. Women fall for men who don't fear losing them. It's not arrogance, it's stoicism. A man who is whole without her, who values her but doesn't collapse for her, who can love deeply yet still remain independent. That man is unforgettable. Why? Because he doesn't bind her with need. He invites her into freedom. And that kind of man? He's rare. The ones who don't beg. The ones who stay when it's right and leave when it's wrong, with grace, with silence, and with eyes that say, I loved you, but I love myself too. When a woman meets that kind of man, she doesn't just want him, she respects him, and when she respects you, everything changes. So here's the truth most men run from. Sometimes your silence speaks louder than your words. Sometimes the most powerful move you can make is to walk. And she'll feel it. Deep, visceral, ancient. That's the final weakness. The quiet terror of losing a man who doesn't fear loss. Be that man.